My name is Drea. I live full-time in a Skoolie. I call it the school bus conversion, or the bus, because it's not fully a Skoolie yet because it's not finished. But today we decided we're going to give you a walkthrough. It's about 50% finished, and so I figured this was a good stopping or marking point to show what I have accomplished so far. So as you can see, I have it parked at a home where I'm doing the construction. I'm very blessed that there's a garage next to me. There's a refrigerator in there that I use. Currently, this is a situation that I'm dealing with. This is not normally here. So this is the bus, and this is our home. So here we have the main living area, which is where we hang out the most, and by we I mean me and Zoe. Sometimes Joel, my son, comes and hangs out with us, but most times it's just me and her. We hang out on the couch, and the couch cushions are actually from a real couch. Someone was throwing it away. They almost fit perfectly. I have a little towel tucked in the side that kind of keeps them tight together, but the pillows I just randomly collected. My sister-in-law Claudia gave me a bunch of the pink stuff in the bus. So one of these is from a yard sale. This is going to be eventually like an area where you can sit like a desk and use it as a desk. The TV is going to be up and mounted a little bit over more towards the driver's seat, and it'll be able to be pulled out so you can see it, like to cook and stuff too. This is all custom made. My dad and I designed it. We bought the stove first. I bought it from a guy who took it out of his RV, and it was a brand new RV. I knew it would fit, but I knew also that we would have to build around it. So the kitchen and the whole design of it was kind of built around the stove first. Everything is custom built. My dad and his best friend made them, and it took them, I think, like a day because they're rock stars. I did all the staining, and it's not finished yet because nothing is finished yet. And then as you can see, I utilized the metal ceiling a lot. I went back and forth on the ceiling and whether I wanted to pull it down like a lot of people do or not. And in the end, I didn't want to, because I've been living in the bus since the beginning. It would have added extra time. It doesn't give you any extra ceiling height. So I really, really like the idea of being able to use magnets on the ceiling. And it's something that I'd seen a bunch of people in videos do. And I use a ton of magnets on the ceiling to do almost everything. So you can see the electricity is not actually running through the bus yet. And so we have the hanging lights, and they all are held up by a magnet. And then so are the pot holders. So I use them a lot, and it's really helpful. I have the sound bar, which I just got. I got it at a yard sale. It was brand new in box. And that's been helpful because when it rains, since the ceiling is not insulated yet, it gets very loud in here and you can't hear. So that's been cool since it's been very rainy, since we're in springtime. The ceiling is not insulated yet because the lighting has not been ran through the bus yet. So it has the electrical running through the sides, but they've not been run through the ceiling yet, and so it's one of the many things that still needs to be done. When I was picking out how many drawers I wanted, that kind of thing, when we were designing the kitchen, Richard, who's my dad's friend that helped, well actually he built it at their house, he asked me if I wanted to have a silverware drawer, and I was like, okay. So he built me a silverware drawer, and it's pretty awesome. I really like that it already has like the built-in organization. So then we have more drawers. There's going to be more built underneath of the couch, but that's not been designed and set up yet. Stove again I got from a guy. He pulled it out of his RV. I guess he wasn't planning on cooking anything. And I have a video all about when the stove got hooked up, which was very recent, and that was one of the most exciting things. I was ecstatic, like so excited. It's awesome. The pilot light stays on right now because I'm parked and not moving anywhere, so that's really helpful. I don't have to go in there and light it every time. But I have an oven, which is awesome. A lot of people just use the stove ranges in buses, and I see like you get so much more storage, but I really, really was excited to be able to bake things, make pizzas, like all kinds of exciting stuff. But that being hooked up has been awesome since it got warmer and I didn't want to use the wood stove to cook anymore. This has been amazing. Stove, I love it. I wanted drawers under the stove. I have like my cast iron and stuff like that in there. Back here is going to be tile. I have it insulated. This is one of the windows that we took out and tack welded. I think it was tack welding. There was definitely welding. So there's not a window behind this. This is actual metal. And then it's insulated. I hang a lot of things, which has been helpful for storage since I don't have anything built here. I'm not going to do full cabinets or anything here. I'm probably going to have some kind of shelf that I can store some things above it. And then this is where the sink is going to be. I don't have the sink or the plumbing working quite yet. There is a hole here. It's not a complete cut hole, but that's why there's a cover on it, so that I can use it as extra counter space right now while the TV is taking up half of my counter. So my mom got me this. It has a little like RV on it. It's super cute. So this is a converter or inverter, and I can never remember which one is which. It takes DC power and converts it to AC, I do know that. So whichever one does that, it's that one. This is why I can run my fans currently in the bus, which I have 2 of them. One's in the back and then one's here. They're also used as the ventilation for the stove. They can be run when it's closed or when it's open. It's one of the only fans that actually had a review that said that they would run even when it's fully closed. They're completely covered. They're RV fans, so you can have it be pouring down raining and it can be hot in the summer and you can have a fan going. They blow in or out, which is also awesome because I have 2. And I can have one sucking out and one blowing in, and it'll kind of create a vortex that actually has wind coming through here, which is awesome, especially when the windows are down. So that does that. So this is just plugged in to shore power, which I don't actually have any of the RV electrical stuff hooked up yet. So I literally have an extension cord coming from the garage I'm parked next to, and that's where the lights come from, and I have this plugged in there. Like I said, there's some power ran through the bus, but there's nothing in the back where the actual panel would be or anything, so there's nothing hooked up to this yet. So not all of it has been ran yet. Here I have like underneath the sink kind of stuff. Right now I have my drinking water, which I get from my parents' house, and then cleaning supplies and things like that, because like I said, this is going to be the sink. This is more or less my pantry. These drawers my parents had left over from the build of their home, and they gave them to me, and they're one of my favorite things, and they have the soft clothes on them, which is awesome. And they hold so much food, which is really cool. And the drawers pulling out, super helpful. So this is where the refrigerator will be. The refrigerator isn't in here, 1, because I don't have enough power, and 2, I don't have the flooring down yet. So the flooring is currently just carpets, remnant pieces, left over from a build, and then there's some insulation, not a lot of insulation. The flooring is hopefully going to be put down soon, but it's going to be high durable vinyl planks. Have a really high rating, they're waterproof, and from what I've read, a lot of people have a lot of issues if they don't buy like the highest durability flooring because of how much wear and tear your floor takes, because you have such a tiny space. You use all of the flooring all of the time. But this carpet, as you can see, has been here since the beginning, well, the last 2 years, and it's trash. Like, it's really hard to keep floors this small and this small of area clean. So this is one of my favorite things in the bus, the wood stove. It's a World War II pup tent wood stove. My parents' neighbor gave it to me, and he had a friend who came back from Germany with it and gave it to him. I have a video that actually I interviewed him about it, and he's in the interview. It's one of my wood stove videos. But this is what I cooked on all winter until my stove was hooked up. My stove got hooked up, I believe, the beginning of April, and it's May now, so it's not been very long. But this is how I heat the bus in the winter. There is an electric heater in here. It doesn't really do much of anything in like Maryland actual winter time. So the wood stove was definitely required. The other thing I had to do was actually cover all the windows up because the single pane glass, it gets very cold. But this thing, when it's not super cold out, will like heat this place like crazy, and it's awesome. And then it boils water fast and stuff. It's great. I really like it. And then normally I have a couple more pots, but I need to do my dishes. The box that holds the wood, this amount of wood will get me through about half of a day in the middle of the winter when it's cold. So normally I would do 1 or 2 trips out to get wood. So here in the hallway, I have windows. Sometimes I cover them up, but mostly what's featured in the hallway is the wall. This was one of my most exciting things when I was living in the bus, and almost nothing and it was finished. We put up this wall, and it made me so happy. Like, I cannot explain to you how happy it made me. It started to feel like an actual home, like what I was living in wasn't just this like metal shell. So I can't remember what wood this is because it's such a long time ago now, but I stained it myself and I used a whitewash, but with gray paint. So I believe the mixture was 3 to 1, 3 times the amount of water and 1 time the amount of paint. And it just like kind of lightly coated it. I didn't want it to be super dark because it's a very small space. When I was designing the layout of the bus, I really liked the idea of it not going directly straight through like most RVs do and like how some people in their buses do. I wanted it to feel like 2 separate spaces from the front to the back, and I really like the idea of kind of coming around and having a hallway. So that is where the hallway came from, was that's what I wanted to do. So for me, it's not an issue. Even with shoes on, I can still walk through the hallway without having an issue with the ceilings. The ceilings are a little low in the bus. I think they're 6'3", I believe. But in the hallway, I have this plain wall, which is nice. And then I have some hooks hanging up so that I can hang some of my clothes. I have jackets and things there. And then as you walk through here, this is actually the shower. And I don't have any of my plumbing hooked up yet. And the shower isn't fully, obviously, finished. So I kind of use it as part of my closet currently. And that works pretty well. The sheet is here because at night, while it's cold still, I like...
Here comes Pickles.
She couldn't see me because we came to the back half, so she had to come. What are we doing, huh? Like this is what I was talking about with the magnets. Like this is a stronger magnet. I don't remember how much it holds, but these dresses are kind of heavy. They're a little too long for my closet, so I have them there right now. The closet's not fully finished. When it is, there'll be a little bit more space for the dresses. The sheet I actually have up with magnets because we use magnets for everything. But I close it at night. And I run the heater in the back, and I don't have to heat the entire bus, and it stays a lot warmer. Walk through here. This is the bathroom, and normally there's a compost toilet here, but I actually was having problems with it the other day, and I need to clean it now, and so it's out. It's not sitting in here. But that's normally where the compost toilet goes, so that's the toilet. There's going to be a sink here, and so if you notice, one thing that I thought about and planned through when I was doing the layout of the buses is all of the water is right here. It's all in this one section and it's on this one side. And so when I have to go, I don't have it yet, but when I have to go implement and put in my gray water tank, there's not a lot of lines that have to be ran, which is really helpful if you've ever been underneath a bus and realize like how many metal pieces there are that block things you have to drill through, and just you have to really think about what's underneath of what you are and where you are in the bus when you're doing the layout, because that's very important. So all the water is kind of bunched together here. The kitchen sink's right over there. This is where the shower is, and this is where the sink is. So it saves a lot in materials and in time when you go to run your gray water. So the closet. So this is another big piece that was custom designed that my dad and Richard built. And I guess my dad just kind of asked me what I wanted, and I told him I wanted a little bit of a break here so that the dresses could go long. The finished bar is not up yet, so this will be up a little bit higher once this is actually finished. There's going to be a piece here, and it'll be connected the rod a little bit higher up. But this was something that my son's father put in for me so that I could hang my clothes right now. I use this mostly as the bathroom cabinets or like medicine cabinet. There will eventually be one in the bathroom, but there's not right now. So I use this space. So it has toilet paper. It has like my alternative medicines mostly because I do alternative medicine. And then these are little extra things. Like this has my bathing suits in it. It's a little extra space. I got those at a yard sale. But this holds all my clothes. This piece here used to have a cover on it, but it got warped by the heater, and so it has to get fixed. So it's gone. I put extra shoes up here. I have socks in a container. But it all is mostly here. She would.
You gotta steal the attention.
Such a wild woman. All over my clean jackets. Why are you being so goofy? She's like, does it smell like me enough yet? Why are you such a goober, huh? In the ceiling, I don't know if you've noticed that the holes, this is where the speakers had been for the bus. I have a light in the front that we found that fits perfectly in there, and they're going to get ran to all of the ones that have holes where the speakers were. The other square lights I still have the blue bird lights that are going to go in there, and those are going to be really cool when they're finished. Okay, so one of the projects I just finished was staining this piece. It's actually my vanity piece, and it's actually going to go in the bedroom. So a lot of people don't have a full bedroom in their bus. Their walls start at the bed, and I wanted to be able to get out of bed and have space. So my actual bedroom starts here at the walls, and I have an actual dresser in the bedroom as well, because I have a lot of clothes and I have a lot of space that I can fill for clothes because I have a 72 passenger bus. So this holds a lot of like my jeans and like bigger items. My top drawer actually has my vanity stuff, so that's going to be awesome when I actually put the vanity in. So the vanity is going to go here, and it opens. There's going to be a vanity light, and then there'll be a mirror. My dad and I built, well, no, he built this. Him and Richard built this, and my dad and I built the couch. But my dad and I had the idea and design of this being, one, it holds things, so it's extra storage, but two, it was so when Zoe was a little bit younger, she actually could jump up onto here and then up onto the bed. When she was born, she had hip dysplasia, and so she's never been able to use her back legs like a normal border collie. But she used to be able to jump a decent height, meaning this. She no longer jumps up here anymore. She gets carried to bed every night, but she does get down every morning and still uses it to get down because she's very independent and she's very stubborn about it, and she gets mad if I try to actually pick her up off the bed and put her down, right? Yes, you do. But you will let mommy put you up on the bed, won't you? So, there is a queen size bed in the bus, which is amazing because Zoe somehow manages to take up 3/4 of it anyways. I haven't fully finished the cut-ins, but I wanted to have some cut-ins to have a little bit of, I don't know, design to it, and be able to put things on shelves. So eventually it's probably going to have some kind of lip at the bottom, but they need to be actually for real cut out and then made pretty still. But there's a lot of projects that still need to be done in the bus. So these are the bluebird lights. They're part of the original bus. I'm going to keep them. They came with these little plastic covers that have the little bluebird emblem on them, which I love. And then here's the other fan. And it works the same as the other one. And they are awesome, and I love them. It's really nice in the summer that you can have it blow directly down on you, which is nice. Front of the bus. This is the part where, like I said, it's going to eventually have some kind of stool or something that can pull out and then use this as a desk. My dad and I built this little wall here between where the seat goes and the kitchen area, and it has some storage, which is nice. Mostly holds candles currently. The front of the bus had a little bit of a, water had gotten to the front, and the metal was like a little thin where the seat originally sat. So when we took it out, we knew that we needed to do something to reinforce the metal. So I ended up having someone come in and they fixed it and reinforced the metal. And so there's an extra sheet of metal down here. And so that's when we rebolt the seat down. If there's an accident, God forbid, the seat doesn't just kind of like rip off from the floor, because that was my concern. But now it's structurally sound, which is awesome. So I just mostly normally have crap here if you've ever seen any of my other videos. But right now it's empty. We have to go get the seat soon from where I have it in storage at my grandmother's. So when we do the floor will have to be put down around the seat. I normally hang jackets and things like that, scarves, have my golf clubs here because there's really nowhere else to put them, and an umbrella. And then in the front, also here where my dad and I built the couch originally, built a shelf here so that there's a little bit more storage. And I just kind of keep some of the outdoor stuff here. I have like my throwing knives, the Milwaukee razor blade, Zoe's stuff's here, and the little light. And there's a cord around because eventually there's going to be power and have an outlet here, so if you want to plug in when you're sitting on the couch. But eventually, obviously, all of this will get finished off. It'll be a lot nicer. The curtains here, I use them to block the sun. Over the winter, it was to keep the cold out. Again, the single pane is very cold. The door is not in great shape. It's getting replaced. It's one of the things that's on the list for this spring and summer, but it's going to be replaced with a custom-made front door. my dad and a couple other people that are helping me with the bus have kind of gone around and around on how exactly we're going to do that. But there's a plan, and I'm sure we will make a video about it when it happens. So the bus itself is a 2001 Bluebird. It has an international engine in it. It's the DT444, which is a diesel turbo engine. It's a 7.3 liter diesel. It's a really awesome engine. It's got 130,000 miles on it. It's basically a baby. The bus itself was a 72 passenger bus. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Good job. 72 passenger bus, so it's a bigger bus, and I've been living in the bus since the day that I brought it back. And we got a couple seats out, just enough so that we could put a mattress in and sleep in it. And that's kind of been the beginning of the journey. It's been about 3 years now. I've had to take a couple breaks from working on the bus. Mostly the winter times in Maryland are rough and not a lot happens on the bus. So it's taken a lot longer than I thought it would, but it's been a very long and interesting ride, and I don't think that I would trade it for anything. Well, that was my bus. That's where me and Zoe Dog live. It's not finished yet, but you've seen our journey so far and how far we've come, and we're so excited to go all the way and get it finished and be on the road and travel and have an adventure. And I'm excited to show that to you once we have it finished, and for you to watch us in the whole process along the way. Thanks.